Well, Lisa, that is different. We actually heard it this time.
We did.
We
We did.
The intro.
It was a pretty good intro.
Yeah, and
We have a live studio audience.
We have a live studio audience.
This is
right?
very unusual for us.
Now, the bad part is I think I see some tomatoes and different things. I'm not sure that's a good sign, so we'll have to just see how that works out. This is why we're on the end. We can get away quicker
That's
than
right.
this.
That's right. And
So-
Tim has a nice white shirt on that,
Yeah.
I don't know, Tim.
What do you think, Tim?
Bullseye.
Yeah. So special guest today, we have Tim
Yes.
Webster, of course, is our president of PHI, and so we're very happy to have him. And Laura Lowe, first time on the show.
She's very
So,
excited.
Are you a VP yet? Have they made you a VP of marketing yet?
No, we don't believe in titles.
We don't believe in titles? Okay. So, but you direct our marketing efforts for all of our communities that
Correct.
we're really at Presbyterian Homes. So we're glad to have you on the show today.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Lisa,
Okay, now you all know we have to have some Dick Wit trivia here.
right?
So here we go. If you know the question today, you're going to call in to 336-389-4103. And of course, that's Michelle Jones you're going to be calling. And the winner today, what will they win, Tim?
Let me get my glasses
Okay.
on here. They will win a bottle of water.
There it is, right there.
There. Or you can have your choice of this. Turtle Bay, made in New Zealand,
Yeah.
2016.
That was a good year.
That was
Yes,
very good.
great year. Sauvignon Blanc.
Woo, you said that beautifully.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, that's disappointing. I thought it was there for us to drink when this presentation's over.
Oh, well,
Depends how this goes.
That's true. I do have another bottle as a backup, just in case.
well,
Okay?
actually, we have something a little stiffer drink for that after that. Something a little more than wine.
Oh, goodness.
All right, Lisa, so
Okay.
we know what the winner's going to get, so
Yes.
let's go ahead and do the
Okay, we're ready for the question.
All right.
And if you are in the live studio audience and have your phone on you, you can also call in. We had that happen the last time. So have your phones ready. Okay, what song is considered Etta James' signature song? The line is open, 336-389-4103.
Oh, wow.
She's already got a call.
Etta James. Okay, there you go.
Somebody Googled really quick.
Yeah.
Well, while we're waiting to hear if we have a winner
Yes.
or not, let's talk a little bit about, that fortunately, we haven't talked a whole lot about COVID, fortunately, in the last several episodes that we've had. And there's still not a lot to talk about right now. We know that COVID's kind of the variant, the BA.12, I think it is, BA.2.12, I think is out there. And, we're still seeing staff members and folks that get it from time to time in our communities. As a matter of fact, we just had a staff member, too, as a matter of fact, in our skilled nursing area that just came down with COVID. And they're both doing fine and doing well. I really feel like it's almost getting to a point where, we might be more like the flu, when somebody gets the flu and they're out. But, as it is now, the government's still kind of pushing us when it comes to, and telling us how to do things when, especially if it's a staff member over in the healthcare center side. So we're back to using N95 masks again. We're back to using face shields for our staff.
Additional testing.
Additional testing, we were doing all that. And we've tested all the residents yesterday again, and all the residents in the healthcare center are negative. So, all good stuff from that perspective. And, we're just gonna have this from time to time. COVID's just gonna keep peeking in every once in a while, and I just think that's the way it's gonna be until they come up with either a better booster shot that keeps everybody from getting it, period, or until, this thing just kind of goes away or becomes more like a flu type thing. But,
And Tom, for whatever it's worth,
Yeah.
what you're experiencing here at River Landing, same reports from Glen Eyre, Scotia Village, and Friends Homes. Very, very sporadic
Yeah.
cases amongst residents and employees.
yeah.
But knock on wood, very mild of what we've been experiencing of late.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you saying that, because I think sometimes it's good to get perspective of what's going on just outside of River Landing as well. So, but speaking of COVID, we had great booster clinic
We
last
did,
week.
we did.
350 shots, I think, were
Yes,
given.
yes.
Yeah.
It went very smooth, so.
Yeah, it really did. It went very well. You know, it's funny that whenever we do that clinic, it's always funny to me that we try and tell residents to come at certain times, but in that morning, we always have all these residents show up.
We do.
A lot of them
We
that aren't
do.
supposed to be there, but they're there anyway, and that's okay. And so, you know, the morning getting going, you know, it was 20, 25 minutes to get people through that line when we first opened. And then the rest of the day, people
was
were
almost
almost
walk-in.
walking in and going and getting their shots. So, you know, and I saw a couple residents that are sitting in our audience here who were smart enough to wait and come a little later, and they walked right in and got their shots. And so,
Absolutely.
and it was great also having the High Point University students here giving shots again. And so several of them that volunteered have residents here that they interact with, you know, as part of that program. And so that was neat to be able to have them here as well. So, but yeah, it was another great clinic.
It was.
You know, I think the only complaint we got was that we didn't have enough great food here in the multipurpose room for the 15 minutes afterwards. You know, I was hearing a filet mignon, I was hearing, you know, all kinds of ribs, I was hearing, you know, a lot of things like that. You know, I think we were, you know, we just can't please everybody when it comes to that.
No.
The crackers that we have and
The
the
trail
juices
mix.
and the trail mix,
Yeah.
just, you know, they're not a comparison when it
There
comes to that
isn't.
kind of stuff.
Nope.
But it was really, I thought the booster clinic went really well. And, you know, it was, in some ways, getting shots is not fun, but we try to make it fun, right? And so, you know, trying to entertain and, you know, trying to keep everybody's spirits up while they're getting the shots. And really, the protection that goes along with the booster, we know it works. You know, we know it keeps people out of the hospital. We know it keeps people from passing. And so, you know, it's really important that we did that. So, really glad that we had such a good response. So, I think that's it on the boosters.
Okay, I have a few other news items. The reverse raffle, I know everybody's looking forward to that.
Yes.
All the tickets, we sold out in 10 days, so it was a record this time of
Yeah, that was
sellout. Tim, do you have your tickets?
I have my tickets. I have 4 winners. I'll be in 4 tickets in the final 5. I guarantee.
Well, you know, twice
That's
you've
what
been
Brian said.
twice you've been in the final 5,
have.
and you've pushed it to be able to push on to draw another
Yeah.
ball out. For those of you that have been here, you've known that.
Yep.
And Tim's lost both times he pushed it. So
Third time's a charm.
there
That's
you
right.
go. And then we have a special guest coming, right? A special MC for that.
We do.
You know, because it's Cinco de Mayo, we have a special
We have a special,
Hispanic guest speaker, right?
well, a special French guest.
Oh, it's French. Okay. It's
Doesn't that make sense?
No, it doesn't make sense at all, but that's okay. So who is it that actually is coming this
So
time?
we have Jean-Pierre Bob.
Jean-Pierre Bob.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and he is the cousin of our chaplain, Ken Massey.
Wow. You know, I've come to find out, Ken has a lot of cousins, doesn't he?
And very interesting cousins.
And they all seem to be named Bob. Have you noticed
They
that?
do.
Yes.
He's a
somehow.
very diverse man.
Is that what it is?
Very, very.
In
So
case you didn't know, Ken is in our audience today. So, Ken,
We shouldn't make fun of his family.
we shouldn't.
No, we
that's right.
shouldn't. You're right.
He makes enough fun of it. We don't need to do that. All right, Lisa, what else we got?
Okay, we have some wellness updates. Wellness Week actually starts next week, May 2nd through the 6th. Whitney and her team, they've developed a great week for us. Brochures are in your box if you want more information. Also, the circuit classes will be starting soon, and that sign-up is also out. And the Wellness Center is looking for volunteers to help with next week's health fair, which is on Monday. So if you're interested in helping out with that, contact Jill. She'll get you set up with a volunteer opportunity.
You know, Lisa, one of the things that's going to happen next week that we have been dreading, right?
Yes.
That
I thought we weren't going to talk
we have
about
been
it.
pushed into this, right? This was not of our doing.
It was not.
But one of the events we have next week during Wellness Week is a residents versus staff pickleball
tournament.
So that'll be next week. And so we have been practicing like crazy because we know how good the residents are. And so,
And we've been spying on them. So we can get some tips.
yeah, but we haven't been very good at spying on them because they know we're spying on them. So that's not very good. But they're good. They're too good for us just
They
to kind of.
are. They are.
Yeah, we've even tried to rope in somebody from the MSO office to help us play that day, right? The
be
Tower of Power, Hank Lovern. So, So it should
See
be
if we can
fun.
do it. It'll be a lot
And
of
I
fun.
think it's next Wednesday, right, that
It
we're doing
is,
that?
yes.
So in the
Yeah, so you can
afternoon.
come watch and
Yeah, come on and watch.
see us.
Should be a lot of fun.
Yep. It should be. Can't wait. Oh. Okay, we have the car show coming up. That's May 14th from 9 until 1, and we are still looking for volunteers for the car show as well. So different opportunities, helping with the popcorn machine, helping with the hot dogs, the chips, the drinks, car registration, all those good areas. So lots of opportunities.
You know, and Lisa, we have this feeling, we don't know, but we
Right.
have this feeling we could have our biggest car show ever. Just because
I
of
think
coming out of
so.
COVID and
Yes.
people are looking for things to do outside. And
Yeah.
I really think that we could have quite a few people
Right,
here at
right.
Rebranding that day for the car
Right.
show. So, and we've contacted at least 10 car
Car-
show organizations. So I think we're going to have the largest number of cars that we've ever had too. So if we have good weather, which I hope we will, you know, we could see quite a few people here, which would be great.
Absolutely.
And I'm hoping our residents bring their families over and be a part of this. Our staff as well, bringing their families. And so, you know, for those, that, you know, we haven't done one in 4 years.
No. Yep.
So-
Weather was initially
The weather was the
canceled one,
first,
right?
we killed the first one, I
Yeah.
think, and then construction.
Construction.
And then,
Yeah.
you know, of course, COVID. So we really haven't
Right.
done one in 4 years. So
been a while.
I am really pumped. I'm really excited. That's usually one of our special
It's a funny
days
day.
here is the car
Yeah.
show.
So expect a lot of extra cars that day, but we do have a team that will be out here
Yeah.
helping to manage that transportation piece of it.
Yeah.
And we will also have High Point Police out
High
here as well.
Point Police will be here as
So,
well, helping to direct traffic and kind of keeping an eye on things. So, yeah, so it'd be good.
We'll try to keep the flow going.
Yeah, that'd be great. I think it's gonna be a great day.
Ministers' luncheons, I have to put a plug in for Ken here. Right,
Yes.
Ken? Okay. Luncheons are the May 16th, 17th, and 18th, reservation only. So make sure to sign up your ministers by May 8th. So we need to lock in those dates and reservation numbers.
And my understanding is all of Ken's cousins are coming for this. Is that correct?
Not at the same time.
That's not
come in
possible
and
to have them all
out.
come at the same time? What? That's news to me.
Also, we have a Kentucky Derby party coming up. So I
Yeah.
think that was a huge success last year. So that's May 7th, 5:30 in the Teesside Room in the clubhouse.
That was the mint juleps were the ones.
Yep,
that was,
that's the
I
specialty
think that was
drink.
really the reason why people came. I don't think they really came for the
Think
horse
so.
race. I think
And
it
to
was
wear a
the mint-
hat. You got to wear a hat
You gotta
to a
wear a
derby
hat?
party.
Really, is that part of it too?
Yep, absolutely.
All right.
We have a few dining updates. Excited to announce we have the Mother's Day brunch coming up, and you can have up to 10 guests come with you that day. So that's a big deal for us.
It
We're
sure
going
is.
big. We're going from 4 to 10. That's just how we roll here. We go big. We go big. So
Yeah, we're
and-
going to be rolling, all right.
So we're making reservations till we get everybody through. So obviously not everybody can have the same time, so it'll be throughout a couple-hour period that we have reservations available.
Yeah.
So make sure, sign up for that. The Wayfarer, this is exciting. Next Tuesday, we're going to open back up
Yay.
after 2 years of being closed in the Wayfarer. So that is big news. Be watching Care Merge for how you sign up for reservations and all the details that go with it.
So Lisa, we know that the first thing's going to be the
We do.
the
We do.
steakhouse, right? The
Steakhouse.
J&J Steakhouse,
Yes,
I believe.
yep. So those menus will be coming out so you can see what you're signing up for, and that was one of our most popular ones that we had
yeah,
in
in
the past.
case
was
you
a
don't know what
steakhouse.
J&J is, it's Joseph, James, and Joe,
Joe.
I think, is
Yeah.
what that stands for.
Yeah.
People
So.
still come.
And they still
do.
come if they,
Wow.
that's the amazing thing, right?
They're
Ted?
coming for the steakhouse, not the name.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and then the blood drive that we had yesterday. We collected 32 productive pints.
Yeah.
So that's really good, because of course folks come and sometimes they either can't give or it just doesn't work for whatever reason. So
Yeah.
to get 32 productive pints is really good.
Yeah.
Because you have to schedule 45 to 50 people just to get that number.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, the
really
Red
good.
Cross collected 32 pints, and then we collected a few extra pints outside, didn't we? I think.
we're having it in storage? I don't know. Oh. Okay, annual appeal update. So we are at $33,300 already collected, and Marisa is saying that's a very strong start for
Very
us.
strong, yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. Thank you to the Clackies for being the resident chairs of that as well.
Yeah.
And thank you all, anyone that's felt led to contribute to that. We appreciate everything you've done.
You know, I've tried to get the Marisa to come back on the show, but ever since that one episode,
I know,
that we
she
had
just
her,
won't come
she will
back.
not come back on the show. I don't
Yeah.
know why. So.
Tim, you're going to have to tell her it's okay.
I've tried. It's not happening. Permanently scarred.
I know.
That is the most watched YouTube video out of all of ours. Is the one with Marisa on it. So
And you know, we got rid of the top 10. Tell her that. She's safe now.
we might have to bring it back for her though.
See, that's what she's worried about. She knows we will do something. Have a furl update from Jim Kalacki. The guidelines for the first ever Riverlanding resident and staff writing competition will be published in the May edition of Encompass, which will be available later this week. Guidelines are also being sent to all staff members who are welcome and strongly encouraged to participate. I thought that was pretty neat that they're including
Yeah.
the staff this year.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
So information's also going out to them.
And what does FURL stand for, Lisa?
Free University of Riverlanding.
Oh, you didn't even hesitate this
It
time.
rolls right off. Yes. It just comes so easy. Okay, and the guidelines detail the particulars, types of writing, and how to actually submit. Submissions can be made anytime between May 1st and June 30th, and then our resident Walt Pilcher will be providing overall coordination for the project. Anyone interested in leading a course for the fall term for FURL or in suggesting either a course or a prospective leader is invited to contact a member of the FURL work group. And one more thing, the FURL work group will in the fall be inviting expression of interest for 2 new members of the group for 3-year terms starting January 1st. If interested, be sure to talk with the work group again. Okay, that's it for updates.
Yeah,
So now
that's
we're
good.
to the best part of the show.
Best part of the show. We get to turn it over to Tim and Laura.
Yes.
I know, this is exciting. Are you excited, Laura? I know this is the first time on the
Very
show. Are
She's
you nervous,
excited.
Laura? Are you nervous, Laura?
No.
No?
Nah.
Okay. Like a duck on a pond? You know, floating gracefully, but underneath just kind of paddling like crazy. Okay, well, Tim, I guess we're going to turn it over to you. So,
Okay.
welcome. Glad you're here. And
Yeah.
you know, I actually think this is a very exciting time when we talk about potential name change and all. So,
You just gave it away.
I did. I didn't say the name.
Yeah.
Besides, you
It
don't
is.
know this, but we mentioned that you're going to be talking about name change on the show. So,
Okay, no,
Yeah.
that's great. No, it is exciting, and in particular, it's exciting as it's springtime, and this spring in particular to me has been exciting just because it's started to feel a little normal again.
amen to that.
Even that normal yellow sheen on my car and on my porch and everything. I'm thankful for that this spring, and it just anyway. So some normalcy, but also, thinking about COVID, you know, it was a time that I keep saying I've had COVID brain or fog. I lose sense of time and everything. But I want to tell you all that a lot has been going on with the Presbyterian homes, and the board has continued to work during that time. So we have some exciting news to share with you today. And the news will be about change. And I know, I just said that word change. But I want to remind all the residents watching and sitting in the audience is I always look from my seat and my role at the Presbyterian homes that you all are change agents. You all throughout your life have precipitated change in our world, in our communities, in society. You invented a lot of change. You supported a lot of change. And why is it, as we get older, we roll our eyes when we hear about change? Because you've embraced it all your life and conquered it and made it work. And so now it's just another opportunity. So I'm really excited about this opportunity. I think we have some slides. Will we go to slides? And hopefully you'll see them online. But we're going to talk about a rebranding project of the Presbyterian Homes, Inc. that the board, along with management at Presbyterian Homes, has been working on. And that process, if we move to the next slide, is something that we've been maybe overly deliberate about, but I don't apologize for that. It's been nearly 3 years that we've been working on this as the leadership team, and that's the folks at the Management Services Office up on the hill for the River Landing residents. The Board of Governors, that's the board that governs Presbyterian homes overall. The River Landing Board of Trustees has 3 members on that board, but overall authority of all the Presbyterian homes communities. And in good Presbyterian fashion, we formed a committee, right? And that committee went about its work and so on. So we had a subcommittee of the board members, management, and so on. And that committee came out with a decision to rename the Presbyterian Homes, Inc. Okay? So one of the first questions you may have is, why? Why would you do this? Yeah, I see a nod in the crowd. Yeah, no, you should. Why would we do this? Because I think that the Presbyterian Homes has a pretty good reputation. And it does. We've got a great reputation. We're so fortunate. We've got 3 wonderful communities that provide wonderful service and care. So why would you do that? Again, this was something that came out of our strategic plan, and to look at that name. So one of the first reasons is to set us apart from other Presbyterian organizations. As we looked at things, and social media kind of brought this to light, is if you think about it, there are thousands of Presbyterian something out there. Presbyterian homes for seniors, Presbyterian homes for children, Presbyterian churches, Presbyterian support of pregnancy care, adult and family services, all kinds of Presbyterian organizations. Wonderful stuff out there, but from time to time, certain organizations, and we're not perfect, but certain organizations, including Presbyterian organizations, don't always do the right thing. And through social media today, I'm not a big social media user, but I see a lot of Google reviews. We would get, for Presbyterian homes, hey, something happened to my mother, and I wouldn't put her at the Presbyterian homes. And we would look at it, and we'd say, wait a minute, is that River Landing, Scotia, Glen Eyre? And we'd find out it's Presbyterian Senior Services out of, I'm making this up, Texas, Pennsylvania, whatever. And so we would start to see this, and it became a problem. And a lot of people do look at Google reviews or Instagram or Twitter and all these comments and everything. So that was a little bit of a problem, and so we wanted to separate ourselves. We also think, as you all know, we have Glen Eyre, Scotia Village, River Landing. In 2016, we partnered with Friends Homes. I announced in January, we bought a therapy company, a 20% interest, so we partnered there. We partnered on Capitol Towers to serve seniors of very modest means in Raleigh. We're working on another partnership, Milner in Raleigh, for affordable housing for seniors. There's a multitude of things happening out there as the world is changing. And our opportunity to partner, sometimes when you're partnering, they look, and although our reputation is great, Presbyterian can be a barrier, because people will look and say, we're Baptist, we're non-denominational, we're not faith-based. And nothing against the Presbyterians, but do we want to partner with them? And sometimes we run into this many times with residents, prospective residents. Do I have to be Presbyterian to live there? I think you have to be Presbyterian to live there. And we know that's not true, because I comment many times, I think we're the Methodist homes, because we have more Methodists than Presbyterians and whatnot.
And they're very proud of that,
Yeah.
Tim. They are. They're very proud of that.
And even, this hit me just this week. I had a prospective employee say, do you have to be a Presbyterian to be an employee there? And I was like, oh my gosh, we're in a workforce shortage. Anybody qualified and has a heart for what we do, we want them to come work with us. And we would never say you have to be Presbyterian, but maybe unintentionally we're being exclusive versus inclusive. So that was another thing we looked at. But I will say another why, and maybe this isn't a why, but undergirding that, we do realize that in 1952, we started because there was a need to support senior adults. And that came out of the church. I believe it was Albemarle Presbytery here locally. It no longer exists, but saw a need. And that Presbyterian heritage is really, really important to us. So those are several of the whys we would even consider it, even though we have a very strong brand today. So if we continue, what the process, what we did is we partnered with a firm called Reuben Rink. Reuben Rink is our marketing company that we work with on a daily basis for marketing services, advertising, promotion, and publicity. Primarily folks like Laura here works with them, but also here at River Landing, Betsy Seaton, our Director of Marketing and Sales, Martha, and so on. Those folks work with Reuben Rink. They're a creative agency. So we started out and we did a total of 128 surveys. We said we want to get information back on what do people think about the name The Presbyterian Homes, Inc. We had an inclination going into it, the word homes. We knew that was an area we were going to focus on because homes has a positive, in my opinion, has a positive and a negative connotation. I left my home this morning to come to work. That home is my dearest and one of my most sacred places. I expect to work really hard today, and at the end of the day, I'm going to be tired, and I'm going to look forward to going home, getting out of this tie and these dress pants, and you don't want to see what I wear. I look a ratty old pair of shorts and a ratty old t-shirt, and I'm going to kick back. I love that place because I can really relax in my home. That's the positive side. What many out there, when they look at the Presbyterian homes, think is, and I'm pointing to the residents out there, your children or your loved ones are going to put you in the home. Is that why you came to River Landing? To put you in the home? Live your days in the home? I don't think anybody here, that's not what I experience when I come to River Landing. It's so much more than that. Now, we've built a good reputation around that, but think about, you all have lived here, you understand River Landing and so on. Think about people out there that may look at River Landing, don't even know it, and say, oh, it's managed by the Presbyterian Homes. And so they tell their friends, and their friends say, oh, Mr. Burke, you're going to the home? You're like, oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to the home. So that's what our marketing salespeople have to deal with in that name. Now, I personally, because I've been here 28 years, I like it. I know what happens, and I'm like, it's fine. But if you think about that person that may be considering 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, River Landing or any of our communities, it can be a struggle. So we started with those first three groups, residents, Board of Governors members, and management. And we said, this name, Presbyterian Homes, what do you think? And what we got, because you're residents, you've lived here, you understand what we do and what we stand for, same with the board and everything, is we love it here. We love what's going on here. This is a great place. It has a terrific reputation. But we did hear a lot about the homes in that group, that probably its time has come and gone. Maybe we should move on. But there were some other thoughts in there, and the board said, let's get more information. Maybe we are too close to all this. Let's start to look outside the Presbyterian homes further. So the next group we surveyed was the Friends Homes Board of Trustees. We just started a relationship with them. We also said, let's go to our resident of the future, They haven't lived with us, and they don't know us as well, but they have made a decision for us. But we went one step further. Laura purchased a mailing list of age and income qualified residents for our communities that are not on our wait list. They don't know us, and we sent it to them. We started to get some interesting information back. Now, some said, Presbyterian, faith-based, that would be good. I could see that. There were some that came back with I must have to be Presbyterian, so I'm not sure why you're sending that. I'm Baptist, or I'm agnostic, or whatever it may be. I'm atheist, so I'm not sure I would go there. So we started getting feedback like that. And I will say, by and large, there was about a third that said, it's great. I'm glad it's Presbyterian. That means credibility, quality, ethical. There was a third that said, I wish you were just faith-based. I'd look for somebody else because that Presbyterian. And there was a third that said, not interested, don't want a part of that. So we said, this is what our future looks like. Once again, they went back, industry leaders. They said, what do people that are not in Presbyterian homes, that maybe they're an architect that does senior living, maybe they're a banker that finances senior living communities, maybe they're a marketing company that could consult with us. What do they consult with senior living companies all over the country? What do you think? And they came back predominantly, we're seeing denominational organizations try and be more inclusive in their branding and so on. And unintentionally, the denominational organizations, are being exclusive. So we got all that data. So where did we go, or what does that mean? The decision was to take the Presbyterian homes out. As we got more data, it was like, let's look closely at this Presbyterian piece. So in the end, it was decided we would look at complete name change after all that data and so on. So name change, but we're not revealing yet. There is a change, but the committee really looked closely at what's not going to change, what's critical to stay the same. Critical was the mission. We're not changing that. The mission is to honor God by enriching lives, to touch the hearts of those we serve. I got that wrong. Honor God by enriching the lives and touching the hearts of those we serve. That's who we are. That's not changing. We don't want to change that. The vision to serve seniors and have high quality services and so on, not changing. The values, what we value, we value wellness, we value a particular lifestyle and so on, not changing whatsoever. Really critical here, hope everybody's listening to this. Community names are not changing. River Landing is not going to become something else. Scotia is not becoming something else, nor Glen Eyre, nor Friends Homes, nor Capitol Towers. No changes. Those are brands that stand on their own. They are well recognized. Do not want to change them. They're logos that go along with them. You all know the Glen Eyre or River Landing, blue River Landing, yellow flag at the end. That stays all the same. The other thing, this is where it gets slightly confusing, is the Presbyterian Homes, Inc. name as a legal entity will stay. The reason for that is the Presbyterian Homes is woven into all our financing and so on. We talked with our bond counsel. He said, I'd love to do that work for you all, Tim. It would be thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars to change it, but I don't think it really gets you anything. And you all have been Scotch Presbyterians. You always beat me up on my fee anyway. I think you need to keep that. It would be a lot of work and not much benefit. So the Presbyterian Homes, Inc. stays as a legal name. What it does, if you look to the changing column, is that DBA, doing business as. We will do business as this new name. Very much like, if you understand right now, River Landing is not a corporate entity. River Landing today is the Presbyterian Homes, Inc. doing business as River Landing. Scotia Village is the same way. Glen Eyre's got a little complicated thing. They're an affiliate. But this new name will be doing business as. And also what's changing, the Presbyterian Homes logo. I've still got the Presbyterian Homes here on my badge. I know you can't see that, but it has a lot of the Presbyterian churches, Presbyterian Church USA, the blue and the red with the cross and the flame coming up. That logo, obviously with the name will change, but some other things in it will change that you'll see in a few minutes. So I'll take a little bit of, go back. It's okay. It's really okay. Because we didn't reveal anything. I know we have a small crowd here. I'll take just a slight pause if there's any thoughts or questions before we go further.
I suppose you've got a good budget put aside to change signage and print materials.
Yeah, so the question is, do we have a good budget for signage change and print materials? And great question. We do have a budget. The nice thing is it doesn't have to be a huge budget. We literally have one sign. It's out in front of our building. We really brand our communities, so that's where the major signage is. Now, there will be definitely letterhead, a changeover. What we've tried to do, because we've been working on this for some time, is gauge so we don't have a bunch of our old letterhead and then we'll get to the new. But again, because we do brand so much by River Landing, Glen Eyre, and Scotia, a lot of the various marketing brochures and everything else are in each of those communities' logos and so on. So there's not a ton for Presbyterian Homes, so it makes it pretty cost effective. But that is a thought, and we research that. Some organizations brand completely. I'll give you an example. A Presbyterian organization in Ohio is Ohio Living. They used to be Presbyterian Homes of Ohio. They rebranded Ohio Living, and each of their communities is Ohio Living of Columbus, Ohio Living of each of their locations. That caused them, and they shared with us, they had a six-figure budget to change all their information. Okay, I'm going to turn it over at this point to Laura Lowe to share some more information with you.
All right, Laura.
Very good. Thank you. So before we give the big reveal that you're all waiting for, as Tim has done a great job of not saying it, do want to remind you, I know you know your River Landing logo, but these are our sister community logos as well, Glen Eyre and Scotia Village. Again, those logos and names will not be changing. And so in this crowd, if I can get a drum roll.
And at home, join us.
And at home, drum roll. The new name and logo of the Presbyterian Homes is now Brightspire. Awesome.
Yeah.
So you may recognize here the flame that is in the Brightspire name. That flame was taken from the traditional Presbyterian seal. So the faith being in the logo and the name is really important to us, that we maintain that. I'm going to kind of go on to the next slide here just to show you where Brightspire now complements our community logos. You can see in the font, as well as the symbols, the flag, the frond, the cupola, all kind of tie in together. That was not intentional. It just kind of came together that way, which I think when we all saw it together is where we had that moment of this fits, this looks good. This is. We have a tagline for Brightspire, which is life, faith, and fellowship. That tagline, as Tim mentioned, we don't really market or advertise for Brightspire, the Presbyterian Homes Brightspire, and we don't intend to. We're going to continue to market our communities. River Landing has a great reputation in the community. It's going to continue to be River Landing, Glen Eyre, Scotia Village, Friends Homes. But there will be places where we do present Brightspire, and we wanted to be sure that the word faith was in that logo somewhere. So it will have the life, faith, and fellowship as a tagline.
Laura, if we can, let's go back to the Brightspire, because I want to share a couple things, because it was interesting. We have 9 people in the crowd. And the reaction here was much like at the committee and so on. It was, and there was maybe 1 or 2 claps, and it was not, wow, and it wasn't an overwhelming, oh, but it was, and that's kind of how the committee was. That's how I was. The committee literally looked at probably close to 100 names. And it started out because of our Presbyterian heritage that easy to go to for a Presbyterian is Westminster, right? If you're Presbyterian, it's Westminster, right? Well, Westminster, like Presbyterian, as we started to look at that, it's everywhere, and there would be confusion. Well, the next best is, if you're Presbyterian, we're going Calvin, right? Well, that's pretty much the same way. Well, then what you go to is Scottish Presbyterian. We're in North Carolina, right? Same issue, a lot of that. Because you have to look for a name that's not already taken, which that really is hard. Doesn't matter if you're Presbyterian or what you are, because a lot of names are out there. And we worked with a trademark attorney and everything, and our name is being trademarked, but so there was a lot out there and everything. So to get to this. But what really started to motivate me is, and I think the committee is, when Reuben Rink came and said, what inspires this? Why do we even offer this name? And they put up, and the committee was really concerned about the Presbyterian heritage, and rightfully so. And they put up that what inspired them to go to Brightspire was the Bible verse, John 8:12. Now, this is the Tim Webster version. Don't look at the NIV. It'll be slightly different. But John 8:12 says something to the effect that I am the light of the world. He who believes in me shall never walk in darkness, but have the light of life. And they said, as we work with your communities, as we experience your communities, you bring light. You bring light to your residents. You bring light into their lives. You bring light into the employee's life. Your employees display light. It's just portrayed everywhere. And they said, don't we all enjoy being in the light? Just think of a spring day, sitting in the sunshine and feeling the warmth of light. Don't we all feel better? And the light brings us together. And that's what we're about. And then the spire. They said, really the spire aspires to a steeple and so on. And it has so many meanings of bringing us together and reaching to new heights, new goals, and so on. And as I started to think about that, and I experienced the River Landing family, I experienced the Glen Eyre family, I experienced the Scotia family, the Friends Homes family. They're all different. But there's folks that go through dark times. There's unfortunate things happen. And we always are either resident to resident, employee to employee, employee to resident, resident to employee, lifting each other up. And I think that's what I see in the name. The other thing I would say about this is it's not about a name. It's about what we do. Back to what my grandmother told me when I was 3-4 years old. Actions speak louder than words. So from here, it's what are our actions? How do we act? That's going to tell whether Brightspire is successful in my eyes. So it's really, I had the same reaction. But as you can see, I hope you see the passion as I think about it and know that it's supported by, I am the light of the world. You shall not, he who believes in me shall not walk in darkness. That just moves me. So anyway, but I think we have video.
You do.
Oh, there's a question out here.
Good.
I'm just surprised you chose the flame. Looks to me like it's a Methodist organization.
Oh, great. Yeah. The question was surprised that we chose the flame because it looks Methodist. And that's interesting because this is the third day we've been sharing, And I have had folks. I had this morning at the River Landing management team. I was shown, and we knew that the Methodists, much like the Presbyterian, use the flame and everything. And I think we're good with that because, I think it speaks to the faith, whether it's Methodist, whether it's Presbyterian, there's other denominations that have it. We said, we embrace that. We embrace that, the internal flame. And so we like that. But yeah, thanks for noticing. That's a good point.
That'll make all the Methodists here very happy, Tim, I think.
Yes.
Very good.
All right, video
All right,
time.
so we were here.
Oh.
This is showing our current community letterhead as it is today, and then our what will be new Bright Spire letterhead. Kind of to go back to the question that was asked about printing and budget. We do have plans to continue to use what we have, and then as we go to reprint is where we'll make changes. Currently on the community letterhead, it does say a Presbyterian Homes Community at the bottom, and it will be changed once we put a new order in to say a Bright Spire Community. Our Bright Spire letterhead does at the bottom say formerly the Presbyterian Homes Inc., and that will continue for just the first run of paper, and then we'll order new paper with it not there. This is the back of your River Landing brochure. So I wanted to share with you that when it comes to marketing, as I mentioned earlier, we really market River Landing. We don't say a lot about the Presbyterian homes. I think we're fortunate to have a great reputation, but when we market River Landing. This is the back of the paper brochure. It used to say affiliate, a Presbyterian Homes Inc. community. Once we reprint, it will say a Bright Spire community. So that's about the biggest place that we put Bright Spire on our marketing materials. I did want to share with you before we go to the announcement video that we do have a full communication plan. This is part of the plan being here with you today. We do have letters that will go, resident letters that will go into your box today. We have letters that are going out to our board, to our donors, to our stakeholders. We have an email blast that is going to the residents of the future at River Landing this afternoon. Shortly, about 2 o'clock this afternoon, all of the staff will be getting, we use a Ready app, which is an app to communicate with the staff, and they'll be getting a notification along with the video that you're gonna see today. So come Monday, we actually will be launching the new website. And on that website, it is Bright Spire. Within that website is your riverlanding.org. And it also has the video and the announcement. So we've tried to cross off making sure we communicated really well. So next,
Hello,
we'll share the video.
my name is Tim Webster, President and CEO of the Presbyterian Homes, Inc. And I am proud to speak with you, our current and future residents, board members, staff, partners, and friends about an exciting change for our organization that will better reflect our current mission and our direction for the future. I am pleased to announce we have renamed the Presbyterian Homes, Inc., drawing inspiration from our Presbyterian heritage, our ever-present faith, and our commitment to enriching the lives of those we serve now and well into the future. This new name and accompanying logo represent a years-long process, including collaboration with our Board of Governors and a subcommittee of organization leadership and board members with different backgrounds and perspectives.
Throughout this process, one name rose above the rest, calling to mind the popular Bible verse John 8:12. I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life.
When we think about the light of life, that is what draws us together and illuminates everything we do. It, like the steeple of a church, serves as a beacon for others, letting them know that they are welcome, respected, appreciated, and valued. Living our mission allows people to see the light in us, and it helps them see the light in themselves. And together, we become all the brighter. That is why we have renamed the Presbyterian Homes Bright Spire.
Brightspire gives our overall brand an energy, positivity, and spiritual connection beyond one denomination to speak to many audiences and many faiths. It is important to point out here that Brightspire represents not a departure from our Presbyterian affiliation. It is an affirmation of who we are and our welcoming, compassionate, collaborative culture. Although the word Presbyterian isn't in our name, you may find that it becomes even more present in how we talk about our organization and its guiding principles. In fact, as different communication materials are developed, our new name will allow us the opportunity to be more intentional in describing what our Presbyterian faith means for our organization, our communities, our people, and our future.
With our new name and logo, an obvious and important question is, are the community names changing too? The answer to that is simple: no. Glen Eyre, River Landing at Sandy Ridge, Scotia Village, as well as the partnering communities that we are so grateful to work with, such as Friends Homes and Capitol Towers, are all keeping their existing names and logos. These beloved communities are well-known and highly regarded brands in their own right, and we all believe in maintaining and supporting those individual brands.
This means that for existing and future residents, not much will change, and that is by design. After all, we're not changing who we are. We are simply leveraging a new name that will allow us to continue to serve and grow in ways that are consistent with our values. We are excited about our new name and logo, and we look forward to sharing more about Brightspire in the near future through our new website, organizational materials, as well as foundation communication.
Thank you to the committee members, board members, and our marketing and operations leadership for their hard work to create a new brand for our organization that embodies who we are with such energy and warmth. And thank you all for the opportunity to share this wonderful milestone in our history.
Yay.
Just a couple thoughts that I had there. Laura, in that video, mentioned towards the end about the foundation. The foundation will become Brightspire Foundation. One thing that many folks have made plans in their estate plans or whatnot, and it's the Presbyterian Homes Foundation, Inc. Nothing has to change. Nothing changes there. It's still the same tax ID number, the legal name stays the same, but we will go by Brightspire Foundation. In the future, if people make plans and they say Brightspire Foundation, that's fine too. Actually, we have, Betty Hayes is in the audience. Years ago, people were putting Presbyterian Home of High Point Foundation, and we still see that, and that's fine. That is fine. It's just, what I understand from the attorneys, I'm not one, but it follows the legal entity. As long as there's a trail there, everything is fine. So anyway, we presented at Glen Eyre yesterday, and I would say it was a third as a reaction. I had a delightful lady afterwards come up and say, I'm a Glen Eyre resident. I love it here. This isn't going to change a thing for me. I said, well, you're exactly right. I said, if you feel that way. There was another third that said, I'm so glad you're hanging on to the faith. We cannot let that go and everything, and I'm glad you're tied to that. And I'm going to say, I've been a lifelong Presbyterian, and there was a third in that room, and I'm not saying they're third Presbyterians at Glen Eyre, but there's a third that was like, this is concerning to me, but I trust you that you're going to do what you say you're going to do. We'll be watching and execute. And I think that's a fair reaction, if you're, that staunch Presbyterian and so on, and I think that's fair. And I think, again, back to it's what we do, not what we display on a billboard or a sign, is going to be the deciding factor for us going forward. And the deciding factor for me is, how do we serve seniors? We want to do that. We started in 1952 with 12. Today we serve 1,800. And if we do it in a quality, sound, ethical manner, I think we've done justice to the name. If we don't do that, doesn't matter what her name is. It could be Enron, you know, for all intents and purposes. I hate to bring that. That's,
I was just gonna say, I
that's
wouldn't
kinda
have used that
ending-
name.
That's kind of like ending on a negative note,
Yeah,
I
right.
guess. But anyway, I know we have a small crowd out there. You can call Michelle and ask your question.
336-389.
But if there aren't questions in the audience, but I will also say, you'll see in your letter, contact me, contact Tom. Laura's email will be in there. We want to hear what you have to say, whether it's way to go, great job, or you've just made a huge mistake, Tim. You know, anything you have, feedback is really encouraged and so on. And also, we may have forgot something in here. We've tried to plan diligently, but there may be things we haven't thought of.
You know, Tim, a lot of effort went into this, as you were saying. 3 years, really, of planning this. And so I know Laura is going to be very happy to, I think, kind of move on from this, because I think this has been her main focus for about 3 years, right, Laura? We might actually get to see you back at the community a little bit more often, which would be great. So, but I just, from a personal standpoint, you know, I'm like you. The first time I heard it, I was like, Bright Spire, you know? Does that come off the lips easy enough and the tongue easy enough? And you know, it's funny, this is now the third or fourth time I've heard the presentation because of being in board meetings and all. And every time I hear it, every time I hear the background behind this, it just makes me really like the name even more. I mean, I'm actually very excited about the name change. And, you know, I didn't think I would be at first because I really got attached to Presbyterian Homes. And, but I think this is a new chapter for us. And it's a new world, I think, that we're trying to go out into. And so I think this name will be a great name for us from an organizational standpoint. So I personally am very excited about it. The hardest thing I had to do was keep Lisa from knowing what the name was, because we didn't tell anybody the name until this morning. So Lisa's kind of waiting for me to mess up and actually say the name. And
he never did.
And it was funny because we were having lunch yesterday with Hank Lovern, and I was mentioning an idea to him about, you know, how we could maybe use the new name without mentioning the name. And Hank mentioned it, and Lisa never picked up on it. She missed it completely. I don't know how she did,
Right
because she
over.
is so observant. But she missed it completely. I turned to her later and I said, you know, he just told you the name. And she goes, what? What? I didn't hear the name. So it was pretty funny. But I just think this is a really exciting thing. And so I think I speak for all of the staff and residents here that job well done. This is great. This is going to be fun, I think, rolling out the new name. And, you know, for our email addresses, it might actually get shorter, you know, a little bit with Bright Spire in there instead of riverlandingsr.org or presbyterianhomesinc.org, you know, brightspire.org. That's less you have to type that way. It might, that's a good thing, right? You didn't even know that. So
That's right.
So, but thank you. This has been great, and I'm excited. I think we're very excited about the name change.
Absolutely.
So. Okay, Lisa, you know, the most important thing, we got to figure out if somebody won the trivia,
we
right?
have a trivia winner. Because if we didn't, Laura, you'd be going home with that today. But we do have a winner. Okay, so the
Lisa
winner.
will deliver it to the winner on the way out. Wink, wink.
Got it. Okay, the winner today is Lou Insinius. So congratulations, Lou. And I think you all probably know the answer to this. The question was, what song is considered Etta James' signature song? Anybody? At Last. Yes. So very good.
At Last.
Did we have a lot of people call in, Michelle? No? Two. Okay.
You know, how
Very
appropriate.
good.
At last, will you get the new name? It's been 3 years of working, so. And I was thinking about that
was
as you were
good.
going through the presentation. At last, we finally got out because the build-up. At
That's
last,
true.
finally.
Yeah.
So how appropriate today.
Name change
Very.
is like fine wine. Serve no fine wine, change no name before it's time.
That's right. So, well, thank you both again for being on the show. Laura, I hope it wasn't too nerve-wracking for you.
Would you come again?
Maybe.
The
She's hurt.
question is, would you come again if Wiz Horner was going to be on the show with you? Think about that one for a while.
I noticed that Tim was scouring the room when he came in looking for him.
He's probably golfing, right?
He's back behind Carrie. Well, again, thank you for being on here. Thank you for our audience members that decided to come and be here in person today. Thank you, our studio audience and our TV people that are watching us live today, and future YouTubers, I'm sure, will be watching this as well.
Yes.
So just thank you, and we just appreciate the fact that you're all, part of this family here we call Rebranding, and we love you all very much. Have a great day.
Thank you.